welcome to the Undrunken Podcast. I'm your host, Courtney, and each week we talk real life beyond the bottle. What it means to dump the drink, live life fully, freely, and undrunken. Let's get into it. Hey y'all, what's up? So, you know what's wild? Quitting caffeine has been way harder for me than quitting alcohol, and I did not see that coming. I, very similar to alcohol, didn't intend to give up the substance. I was doing a liver cleanse diet, and as part of the cleanse, there's certain things you don't consume: dairy, corn, alcohol, easy, caffeine. That was the big one for me, and it just rocked me. Um, I mean, from so many levels. I was not doing this for self-improvement. It was totally an in the moment thing. But within 24 hours, the headache, oh my goodness, it felt like my brain was trying to crawl out of my skull and was going to drive itself down to the store and get a coffee or an energy drink, even just an iced tea. It was felt like I was dying. And I just remember thinking that if my body is reacting this strongly to something that I drink daily, probably a lot more than I even realize, then maybe this is something I need to look at, you know. And it's interesting because giving up drinking was easy for me. And I'm not saying that in any like look at me kind of a way. I just mean like I stopped. It wasn't something that I even thought of. Like once I decided I was done, it was easy. And I really only like 2 years later did I really go, gosh, I kind of wanted a drink. And I talked about that in another episode. Something that the alcohol, it was kind of emotional, if anything. But man, quitting caffeine has been this like physical and psychological, not warfare. I don't want to be dramatic, but it's been really tough, and like, oh, the mental fog. And this is not something that I have been able to outsmart. Like, this is not the first time that I've done this. This liver cleanse is something that I have done a handful of times, working on some digestion issues. And um, it's just really interesting how, like, these handful of times that I've done this and been thinking about this and working through this, like, I haven't been able to outsmart this, the headache and just the feelings that come up of just exhaustion. And even with tapering, again, I gave up alcohol. I never felt this bad. Caffeine withdrawal has totally humbled me. I thought I'd be pretty good after a week or so, get through the headaches and all of that, but instead, like, I mean, every moment I'm horizontal reconsidering this as a life choice. It's interesting. So I'm thinking about a conversation. I have a friend who he's on this kick of 100 days of sober, he says. And my conversations with him, I've asked him, like, what about caffeine, man? What about sugar? But caffeine, like, this is the most socially accepted stimulant. And we don't even question it the way we do alcohol or other drugs. You know, when you quit drinking, people ask why. When you quit caffeine, it's like they offer you sympathy and a cup of decaf. I realized again, like, this has become this like mental game for me where I've used caffeine to power through undernourishment and exhaustion, not as joy, but fuel. And that is it's just not serving me, you know. And I do. I love a good cup of coffee. So I am still drinking decaf coffee. And I am still working through this. I'm 2 weeks now. I feel like I'm kind of on the other side of it. And part of it has been, I have a friend who is about, I think, 8 months or so off of caffeine. And I asked them, like, what's been helping you? Very similar with the alcohol, y'all. This goes back to community and reaching out and connecting and not doing it alone and white knuckling it. But back to what he shared, he talked about the importance of hydration and exercise. I don't have a problem with the exercise, but I have always struggled with proper hydration. And so that's where I'm focusing now, reflecting on this caffeine that gave me this false sense of productivity and energy, and like removing it has really forced me to actually focus on a side of things that I think I've ignored for most of my life, and that is rest and replenishment, right? So, high educational moment, stimulant dependency versus nourishment, right? This is normalized in our society. We talk about hustle fuel instead of energy from food and movement and rest. So, yeah, this is it. Like, I'm still tired. I still miss it. uh, Less every day. So this week, the last 3 days, I've been biking a lot of miles. And I think that coupled with really, I've bought just the oddest collection of beverages and have just been keeping myself hydrated. More water. I actually am starting to crave water for the first time in my life. This is a cool thing for me. But I do. I think about caffeine more than I ever thought about alcohol. And I'll be honest, I love coffee. I miss coffee. I still drink my decaf coffee, but I'm learning what it means to actually earn my energy instead of borrow it. And meanwhile, I'm becoming an amateur hydration expert. So, water, electrolytes, uh, and just really getting back to that rest. Um, Also, I am ready for bed by like 9:30. Uh, so, maybe this whole mindset around being undrunken isn't just about alcohol. Maybe maybe being undrunken allows you. I don't think if I was drinking alcohol, I would be questioning my use of other anything. But I really am questioning this substance, or this habit that I depended on to feel normal. And hey, it's October. Maybe it's a good time to question some of your habits too. But listen, you don't have to give up caffeine. You don't have to join me on this background. I just wanted to share these thoughts. But maybe, just maybe, try noticing what caffeine or sugar or whatever, what is it covering up? Tiredness, hunger, burnout, whatever. So, energy is something we can rebuild, not just buying a cup. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next week. Hopefully, awake. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. You can tag me on Instagram at Undrunken Podcast. I love hearing from you. Take care of yourself and keep making good choices.